All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, very excited to be talking with an individual competing at PFL 2, which goes down on April 12th, and quite the intriguing co-main event in the light heavyweight ranks as Alex Polizzi and Impa Kasanganay step into the PFL smart cage, and great getting to have Impa back on the show. How are you doing, man?
I'm great. How you doing? Thanks for having me on. I'm blessed. I'm looking forward to getting after it and doing what I love.
Yeah, and I really gleaned that from just a lot of your posts, how you express yourself in interviews and stuff like that. Like, where does your gratitude come from, you would say?
God, man, I'm a Christian. I don't deserve a lot for what I get in life. In a sense, like I earn it by the work ethic that I apply to what I'm pursuing. But just to be able to live a life, like what makes me more important than I would say, like it can sound morbid, but a kid who passed away, like what makes my life more important than theirs, and or it makes my life more noticeable. I don't think it's even more important, right? Like what all that. So like when I get opportunities, a lot of that, like I reflect on it. I just do that. God's really favored me. He's blessed me, and I'd never had to get one thing that I have today. They see kids in countries getting bombed out, man, and I'm just like, dang, like the biggest challenge of your day is maybe your car broke down and my motorcycle chain popped, and I get to go fight. I get to go do what I love, and there's somebody out there, one of those countries, who's watching me fight, saying, "I want to be like him. This is what's going to get me out." That's one of my favorite fighters. I'm very much blessed, and that's where it comes from. I just realized that God, put me in a great position, and I'm very, very grateful for all of it.
No, I love hearing that, man. Such a great attitude, and probably, at least to a certain degree, I mean, it seems like a larger life consideration in general, but probably informs like your constant growth within the sport as well, and just like your well documented story of overcoming so much over the years and just where you're at now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, but it's puts it into perspective. Where I was like, there's no trial lasts forever. So I had to move forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess to the point of moving forward, just briefly addressing the last go around there, because I thought that was quite a closely contested fight, but a quote you had from an Instagram post, like you were talking about how costly mistakes against a champion level fighter and an intelligent team cannot be made. Like, what would you say those costly mistakes were specifically, I guess, in the Johnny Eblen fight?
Oh man, they're you can watch it in so many different ways. Like when I chose to go and when I chose not to go. Like when I was, thinking through certain positions too long. Some of the grappling exchanges, even my striking, I could really, push the pace even more. And understanding at the timing and the place of the fight and where I could have capitalized on different opportunities, which I didn't. And then listen to my trainers better, right? They gave me the right instruction, and I didn't respond like how I needed to, and I let the fight be a lot closer than it needed to. In respect to Johnny, who also came to fight, so I could have definitely done better there.
Yeah, it's just an interesting sort of position because it does seem like you want that rematch down the line. And I'd seen a previous article where you were talking about having title aspirations in multiple divisions, like everywhere from kind of like welterweight to heavyweight. So, I mean, that kind of fits within there in a certain sense. Was that what you were kind of meaning with that? Or I guess like specifically, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That one, the Johnny fight again. I mean, the guy's playing. I would love that fight. I mean, that's why he said it, I said it, and like I'm down to do it. So get that fight, great. And I'm looking forward to it. Whoever it may be. Um, yeah, welterweight to heavyweight. That's always been the focus. I have to dial it in more for welterweight and figure out how I can really, really make that weight. But I'm grateful. Middleweight. Yeah, I'll definitely be a middleweight world champion soon enough. To get the PFL light heavyweight title again this year. And the day that comes, I fight a heavyweight, I'll get that too.
Yeah, just I mean, it seems like you're very, I guess, comfortable in a certain sense within an uncomfortable framework. Like just speaking to the PFL season framework, like it seems like some fighters like really thrive within it, or some fighters understandably find it fairly arduous. Like, what do you think of the season cycle and the playoffs, etc.?
I love it, man. I love the fight. So the fact that you say, "Hey, it's time to go. It's time to fight. It's time to do what you love." Like, call me, send me. I don't have to ask for a fight. I don't have to call anybody out. I'm just like, send me my contract. I get to earn my way to the top. I get to, it's like I like being in nature. I like hiking. I like, going up mountains, right? And when you get to a peak, what makes it so worth it is the fact that you started in a valley, right? If they just took a helicopter and just dropped you off on the top, uh, it's beautiful. It's probably a different view and it's great. But the fact that you earned it, you saw the wilderness, maybe you saw a bear along the way, maybe you saw a mountain along the way, and you crushed each obstacle all the way to the top. And the fact that I get to do it again is what makes it worth it. So for me, it's like I get back, I get back in the valley, I make the right intelligent decisions. And this time in the PFL 2024 season, light heavyweight division is the best light heavyweight division in the world, filled with champions, talented athletes, fighters, and I get to take the rough side of the mountain. I get to take the challenging side of the mountain. It's like I guess I've never been skiing before, but whatever the highest level of skiing is, right? And everybody talks about go down this little bunny hill, all right? And then it's like that black diamond, I think, or whatever may be the most challenging one, and you get to take that, you get to take it on, and you crush it. Like wow, like that's what makes the title worth it. They talk about the $1 million, yes. Talk about the fighting and winning fights, yes. But what worth it is that diamond that you dug deep for if it wasn't that you had to dig deep for it, right? And like what it's worth is. So I love that. Man, it's a peaceful place for me, and I'm ready to get after it. So um, yeah, I'm doing what I love, and I'm very much dialed in.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, interesting you mentioned the depth within the light heavyweight ranks. Like, how excited were you with the whole just acquisition in general? Because, I mean, just across most divisions, it only serves to like deepen that talent pool.
Yeah, I mean, like rising tide raises all ships. Like I would say, lead me to the wolves, I return leading the pack. And I want this is like the den. Like you get to go in there with your sword. You get to be dark. It can be treacherous. It gets to be all those crazy things, and go out there. And then when you see like the blood falling off that fighter's face, when you see you stand up from the pile, and it's like I'm standing on top of it all. Like that's a great place to be. For me, it's one of those things like, man, thank God these guys are in this division. Like, why would you want to be anywhere in life and be the best of the worst? Would it be worst of the best of the worst, or best of the best? Right? That's your only choice you get. And my focus would be best of the best at all times. And right, no excuses. Show up, fight, claim these victories, and that it gets my heart and my soul and my spirit just that adds to the fire of it all. And I'm just like, man, let's get after it. Let's go. Or you I could count us. We fight in the middle of Antarctica, we fight in the middle of Africa, we fight in Las Vegas, wherever it may be. Bring that smart cage out, lock those doors, and let me get after it.
And I guess just in the context of like the future goals at 170, like we were talking about, like I was speaking to Sadibou Sy the other day, who obviously is PFL welterweight champion from a prior season and has that accolade with him and whatnot. Like, is that someone you would like to face? And is that someone that you even look at as maybe a potential way to interface like the 170 division in a sense? Like, it's ultimately a light heavyweight fight, but fighting a former PFL welterweight champ.
For sure. I mean, yeah, Sadibou's he's a very good fighter. He's a champion. Cornered against him, right? And he won that fight. Man, like yeah, I mean, in a sense, it could like lead to conversation. I like what you did there. It leads to conversation about fighting at welterweight again, and everyone's gonna be like you're crazy, but I like this quote. It says, "If you wish to improve, be content as being seen as stupid or, crazy." Right, and that's what I like. And Epictetus said it, and stupid or foolish. Sorry, and that's what Epictetus said. And I look at it like, yeah, people might think it's crazy to go to 170 again. I'm down. Like if the best fighters are there, but I want to go conquer that land, conquer that territory, then move forward. And I would just I would have to do things differently, right? And I would learn from the mistakes of my past, and I will just go out there and dominate whoever's in front of me. So that's what I love about it. So to fight Sadibou would be an honor. I talk to him pretty much every time I see him at the PFL fights. I think he brings a lot of great things to his division. His style of fighting, who he is, how he fights, where he's from, his trainers, his coaches, all that, and that'd be a great place to be.
And speaking to that next task in front of you, I guess I'm curious to get your thoughts on just the general resume and skill set of Alex Polizzi, just getting ready to get out into the PFL smart cage for the first time after facing some like reputable guys on the Bellator circuit previously. Like, what are your thoughts on his resume and just the skills he brings?
His resume is solid, man. He's fought very good fighters, because he's Romero, Anglicus, all these different people, but he has his own skill set too. I mean, he's won fights at, at the higher level, and I respect him for stepping into the season. I respect him for coming to fight. I respect him for, wanting to take an opportunity to, what's the word, better his life, whatever that may be for him. So shout out to him. That's his resume to me. Skill set, comes to fight, wrestles, throws down, throws his heat, does it all. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a very exciting matchup. Followed both of your guys' efforts, so yeah, I thought it was a cool matchup when I had noticed it. But you talk about your affinity for the outdoors and just having a lot of fun with that. Like, it seems like you've been getting up to a lot of like gardening endeavors lately. It's like that classic phrase you hear about you want to be the warrior in the garden. Like, you kind of embody that literally, I guess. Like, how has that all been going? It seems like kind of a newer endeavor from what I can tell.
It's not so much a newer endeavor. I used to do it landscaping in college, and I've always liked it. I just didn't have my own place to have a garden. I put a pause on not necessarily the garden. I was like ripping up some things, putting a barn in the backyard, gonna shift one garden over to the other side, and really start planting a bunch of things indoors, then repot them outdoors because I just like the Florida climate. I'll be gone for 2 weeks doing a motorcycle road, a ride after from doing a drive from Vegas to Austin, Texas, going to MotoGP and the Austin Handbook Motorcycle Show, working with Triumph Motorcycles and my company Chilobos Trek. From there, Austin to New Orleans, New Orleans to Biloxi, Mississippi, Leeds, Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia, down to Ocala, Florida, Lake Okeechobee, and down. And us being in outdoors, man, hopping in and out of lakes, kayaking, riding the motorcycle and spending time. And like for me, it's just like, learning, man, getting ready to come back and plant these seeds and really grow this garden, eat these fruits. There's a mango tree in the backyard that's starting to produce from the previous owner. So I'm pretty excited about that. Uh, I've always liked it, man. I've always wanted to hunt, grow, and cultivate everything that I eat. I, plan on doing that this year for sure. I lived on a farm for a little bit, got to grow some plants there too, and just different, vegetables. I like to have a flower garden, vegetable garden. The flowers would be gifts to people, and the vegetables, when I have the harvest, much of the excess I would like to give to people, after storing what I need, and just treat it as gifts. I mean, if I get some chickens, we're really rolling. So we'll have some meat hens and some egg layers, but I think we're well on the way. We're well on the way.
Yeah, I mean, just the way you talk about it, it seems almost derivative of that like skiing analogy you were giving, where it's about just like that, anecdotal journey, and you can really appreciate it, getting to the end of it. Like, is that a similar component to like, the things you grow and what you put in your body by virtue of having grown it and curated?
Yeah, I always tell people I don't have like that like middle ground. I have like one extreme or the other. Either I'm doing it the whole way the right way, or I'm gonna do it the wrong way the right way. So I like to learn, how to, live off the land and do what I need to do and go to convenience store strictly for convenience, right? It'd be great to be able to do that and like, pass that down from generation to generation. Um, I I like the work. I like to push myself. I love the managing of it. I've had moments where I failed in it. I've had moments where I've done well in it. And that's all, lessons in life that I believe make me not only a better person, better martial artist, better man, but also a better future husband, better future dad one day. So like it's just like that all means something to be a better future businessman. So there are so many things to take from it. I see life as it's more connected than disconnected. And those connections right there are what can help me get to the next stage. So, learning about it, planning to do it, and I'm really excited once this process has really started. And whether I move, I'll transplant it all with me. And if I stay here for the long run, at this house that I'm in right now, you're gonna see a pretty cool setup. Maybe we'll do a FaceTime, we'll do a Zoom call out of there. So, pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I'd love that, man. I mean, I like just what you show on social media, even too. So to go to that level would be great. But yeah, it seems like you do really enjoy learning and trying different things. Like, I was seeing, it looked like you were dabbling in a bit of guitar recently too. So I'd love to see that.
Thanks. Yeah, I grew up playing music since I was 6. I said started with guitar, kind of got away from it. It's been a process learning it again, and been taking lessons. A guy Jordan, Jordan Laurenti, awesome guy, friend of mine has been teaching me a lot. He's a great guitar teacher, and just proud that I get to learn from him. I've always loved music. I think that you should continuously pursue education. in many different ways because it's great for your brain, especially about fighting, right? You got to keep your brain active so it stays healthy in the long run. But just like the fact that we are able to learn, the fact that we are able to um, step into new endeavors, like I think that's really a blessing, and I love it.
Yeah, for sure. And just, yeah, I mean, such a cool thing to be getting up to and whatnot. And I feel like I almost know the answer to this, but thought to kind of posit it all the same. Like, are you a guy that, I guess, has a certain, like, reoccurring visualization of how your upcoming fights end? Or are you more of a guy who wants to be fluid and adaptable in the body of the fight itself?
I'm married, never married to going one way but victory. And victory by a dominant finish. That's it. And everything else that comes with that. I go for the highest possible standard that could be done. I finish him in the first less than a nanosecond of the fight, whatever way that is. And I strive towards that, and I build towards that, and I do it in a way that's clear, that's fluid, that's dominant, that's just relentless, and it's beautiful, right? And uh yeah, that's how I see it. And I would say like when I fought Josh has said, or I fought Martin Hamlet, it was like he's never been to a decision. He's either lost by finish or he won by finish. I said, well, either going to be the first one if it's by decision, and if it's by finish, it's by finish, and that's what I believe. And I, finished the fight in the first round. I was just saying I'm content with what God gives me. I'm gonna go work hard and I'm gonna go earn what I'm gonna go get. And I believe that I'll finish anybody that I fight. I can, and I have the skill set and capability to. I stay focused, and I believe that I'll finish this fight, April 12th. And I claim that. I dominate from the beginning to the end, and the rewards come with it. Like the points come, the money comes, all that stuff. But no matter what, the Warriors' greatest reward is the next battle. I claim this, I dominate, and I move forward.
Yeah, just such an interesting season and cool to see, like, you immediately getting into this kind of an intriguing fight as the champion from the last season. Just a great crop of bouts coming up, and yeah, just also wanting to be mindful of your time, Impa. I'm sure I could ask you a ton of questions, but kind of like I was saying before, I'm sure other people want to talk to you, and you have other things you're doing. So, is there maybe a final thought you wanted to add as we were wrapping up, man?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me on, Dylan. It's been really fun talking to you. I appreciate your questions and appreciate you looking into my life. It's cool that you. I always find it fun that people want to talk. I find it interesting that people want to talk about my life. I'm like, what about yours? What's going on? I like your hair. That's
Oh,
very
thanks.
cool. So you've been putting some work in, man, and um, just thank you. Thank you to everybody, Joanna. I know she's on the other side of this. I just want to say thank you to her. PFL, always organizing things. Tani, Gabby, everybody. It's just I'm blessed, and everybody who tunes in, everybody who's watching these fights. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for tuning in because you guys really help these, my career and what I get to do continue. So, you're just a part of the success as the people that are surround me. Stay tuned for Chilobo's Trek, right? After the fight, you'll see I'm going to go from Vegas to Texas, Austin, Texas. Spend some time at MotoGP with Triumph Motorcycles and travel through the United States, New Orleans, Biloxi, Mississippi, Leeds, Alabama to the Motorcycle Museum, Triumph headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, and camp in and spend some time with my dog along the way. Finish down in South Florida, Ocala, and Okeechobee. And I just want y'all to commit to your adventure and just trust, like, truly, truly go after what you're called to do in life. And no matter how large you scale it, how small it is, like, pursue that endeavor because that vision in your heart's meant to be pursued.
That's awesome, man. That's such a cool thing to express, and just, yeah, always fun getting to talk to you. I feel like you've got interesting insights on not just fighting, but just this whole experience we call life. So thanks so much for the time ahead of this Alex Polizzi fight. Definitely will be a cool one on April 12th, and I'll be certainly checking that out. But until then, you have a good rest of your day, Impa. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.